You tell when Eddie's been here. I hear nothing.
No, what you do?
Hey, we got an awesome show for you today. Got some super duper cool people coming to hang out with us today. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you because I ain't got my papers today. I ran out of ink last night.
Let's just do it on
Man,
the
I just
fly.
heard a little bootleg way to get some new ink.
Uh-oh.
Not the way Bibby was talking about though. I am not going to jail for this. So everybody know I cannot do state time. I can do fair time all day.
About to say stealing critters is that ain't fair
Nah,
time.
that's state time. They gonna put you right down the right street. They gonna put you right down in Jackson County or something like that. Where them real criminals be at. I ain't got time for that. Put me in there with them white collar
I'm
criminals.
about to say
Tax guys, you know what I'm saying? You know, somebody that, you know, messed up. Whatever. Yeah, regular people.
Some that didn't really do nothing bad.
People that I could probably fight back. Especially with the state dudes, they be there. 3 hots in a cot, what, pumping iron.
You were like, don't drop the soap.
You are my boyfriend. That's what I'm going in there. I'm picking out my boyfriend as soon as I get in there. No homo. Hey, we got an awesome show today. Got some cool people coming to hang out with us today.
We forgot to tell Palyce to close her ears. My bad.
She get it. She walking around with a crown on. She gets it. Hey. Yeah,
it's Michael and Joy.
We'll be back. It's Michael and Joy in the morning. Y'all are a mess.
Well, you don't even know how to start the show without the paper. You're so codependent on that paper, Michael.
Nah, I can't. The microphones ain't on.
I know,
so it's
I
like,
know.
What's the point?
Just message. Well, you know, the people in the background can hear us. That's all that matters.
Oh.
You know, they're
Check. Yeah,
check
that's
1
it
2
right
1 2.
That's it. Check. I can hear you, Joy. Say talk again.
Check 1 2 1 2. Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you. I
Testing.
can hear everybody but me.
Perfect. Michael, you know how they say you don't need a microphone because you talk loud enough? That's you, player.
No, it ain't recording.
I know. Check 1 2 1 2. Hey, Touchwood. Been up in the mountains. What's going on up there? Hey, Trainer Niecy. Good morning. Bijan.
MaxenJoy.com. Hanging out with us today.
La. It's Friday. What y'all got going on for the weekend? Michael, hang on. Yes, we are doing great. How are you? When you coming back, Niecy?
Michael and Joy in the morning. MaxenJoy.com is the website. Got an awesome show for you today. Got some super duper cool people hanging out with us today. Mike Bibby is back. Dog. The Story of 3 is gonna be in the building with us today. Also, this young lady, she has been to all of the buildings with us. She's been traveling with us for a while. She got 3 names too: Chanel, Nicole Scott. She's been hanging out with us. I think I'm gonna go with the 3 name jump.
I was gonna say, you know, if I think about it, like Scott, she got 3 first names.
Yeah.
Chanel, Nicole, and Scott could all be.
Yeah, there could be 3 last names. They really could.
They could.
Also,
thank you for thinking of that, Michael. we had quite fun.
We had the 2018-2019 Georgia Cinderella, Miss Cinderella in the building. I'm gonna tell you about her. We're gonna keep her secret for right now because of the work labor laws. We're gonna send her downstairs to go answer this door a couple of times. Here's the key. Maybe go grab some coffee. Something like that, but no, we're not.
I was gonna say, yeah, we only had like an hour of work labor.
Why is my microphone ain't working? I'm upset. Like, it's really killing me. Only when Eddie is here. Like, Eddie, you come in and do
I
an
was gonna
awesome
say,
job.
well, at least we know Eddie feeling better.
Leave stuff the way you found it. That's all I ask.
That's what is that what you used to tell Malik when
I still tell him today at almost 21.
Leave stuff where
Leave
you found
toothbrush out. You know what I'm saying?
Do you put stuff back where you found it?
Of course. You know that.
Tasha, tell us the truth, bro.
When you come in the studio, what it look like every day?
Look, that ain't got nothing to do with work. I'm talking about at the house.
At the crib too. I'm
at the
saying,
house.
I'm just kind of. I was in the military, so you military taught us to be disciplined and all that kind of stuff. Now, catch me on a bad day though. Oh, my closet would have all my dirty clothes just on the floor.
Tasha
if I feel like doing that.
Tasha, he is jacked up right now. The microphone isn't working for him. So,
I'm gonna get it though.
So he is not on Facebook Live right now.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm just doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
He is really stressed out. It is starting to show.
Mike Bibby, just tell us about Historian 3.
I was gonna say, what up,
Mike Bibby?
About that.
Yeah, we just came from a long drive. We drove 12 hours through the night to get here.
Yeah.
But Historian Thread is a hip hop based clothing brand. This is our 3rd year in existence, so we're kind of finding our voice and finding our way in the marketplace. Appreciate y'all guys supporting us.
You already know.
Even though I know Mike wore that as a sleep shirt.
You already right. And the reason he say that, ladies and gentlemen, is because I put it on one night before I was, I take a shower, you throw your shirt on, something to relax and chill in. Yeah. Turn off the damn lights, the shirt glow in the dark. Like, what the heck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? But that's very creative though.
So dope. I love
very creative. Tell us about Historian Threads and what it means.
So Historian Threads is, I actually came up with the name because it's my dream. Like, I thought about what's my dream job. My dream job would be to be a hip hop historian. And like now with all with how hip hop is, it's like we lost that history. Not only lost the history, but lost the sense of pride in hip hop. It's like people don't want to be a MC anymore. I make songs, I make money, right? And before it was a pride in the culture, hip hop, and it's because I was kind of born into like right on the cusp of hip hop becoming a thing outside of New York. So to me, it's like I want to hear what you say. I want to hear those bars. I want to hear knowledge within those bars. And I made the clothing line as a ode to that day in hip hop, and to try to bring that back.
I love it. Is hip hop because, like you mentioned, I've never saw hip hop as music. Hip hop was always a culture. It wasn't just music because a lot, came from hip hop. But do you see the lack of respect for hip hop, or are we just getting older and the generations are changing?
Both. To me, if I build a house, I want to know who the best house builders are. If you on the radio, you want to know who the best radio host is, right? And I think hip hop has lost that because two things. Because American culture is now hip hop culture, like all of them merged together. So it's not like a sense of pride that we control the culture. But outside of us, it's everybody wants the culture. I've talked to a guy in Paris who has the Wu-Tang Lab book, and hip hop is just so global. But outside the U.S., people have such a big respect for hip hop. Like you go to Japan, if an artist is performing, the crowd is silent. Like how we be rocking, like no, they want to hear everything, like hold on to everything, and then it's like an applause, like it's almost like a symphony orchestra or like an opera outside of here.
That's funny because you overseas watching the concert and everybody just sitting in their chair and they're watching Future perform, and then after his record they go, bravo.
The interesting thing is that a lot of times for artists that are performing, they're feeding off of the crowd.
Right.
So to go perform in another country and not get that same energy, you really have to get used to it.
Right.
To knowing that they're not going to be there for you to feed off of.
And you think about athletes who, they play in the NBA for a certain period of time, and now they're no longer athletically able to perform in the NBA, but then they go over the seas and they're legends. And it's the same thing with our old school hip hop artists. When you look at artists like Tribe Called Quest or Wu-Tang Clan or EPMD, They might can't sell out Phillips Arena in Atlanta, but go over to Bucharest though, packed house.
So they sell out Wembley.
Wembley, right? Exactly.
Right.
So
is it because we're spoiled in America and we're overexposed to hip hop, where other countries have a better appreciation for it, or is it just that we as Americans are always wanting something new and fresh?
We definitely treat it as disposable now. I mean, we treat the whole culture as disposable, and maybe because it went like popular culture, so it is like chew it up, spit it out. What's next? I mean, even people like listen to music like that now. That's why you see artists going to like shorter albums,
right?
7 songs, 5 songs. Because the attention span is shorter. And even I was talking to my best friend Chaz, he did a field day with his daughter, and like just people attention spans are shorter. Like kids can't focus for 30 minutes. You know, so you gotta chop it up into smaller chunks. So and then they can't digest as much information. So you hear a bar, yeah.
What's that record, Mike? What's that record? Yeah. We got a hit on our hands.
That's all the records.
every single one of them. So who takes a stand? I mean, is it somebody old school that steps up? Is it a Jay-Z? Is it a that says, okay, we gotta come back to, or do we just let it die? I
mean, I think that it's out there. Like the music is out there for people. If you want to find good music, there's good music out there.
Yeah.
But you just have to comb harder. It won't be played on the radio.
That's what I'm about to say. You can't be lazy. You can't be waiting for V or Hot to play that record that you're looking for. Just like if you want information, you gotta pick a book and read it. They're not just gonna feed it to you. If you want some real, underground, old school style hip hop, just go on whatever you stream your music through.
Right, and it's like the. I mean, it's our responsibility. Ultimately, I bought both you guys gifts, but I bought you a shirt that said our new campaign is we the culture.
We are the
right.
We are the culture.
We the culture. Where everybody else tries to dictate and sell us the culture, but we get to realize that it's ours and we are it. You can't sell me. You can't sell me Kanye West shoes for $200 and tell me they look cool. No, they the shoes my grandfather had.
Hey, Mike Bibby hanging out with us today. He is the CEO of Historian Threads. Amen. We're gonna talk more with Mike, and I gotta say congratulations to our Washington Capitals, Stanley Cup winners. The team out of Washington, D.C. shouted. I remember growing up going to the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, and checking out the Washington Capitals. Well, I probably saw about 2 or 3 games.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, messing with hockey like that back in the day. However, though, the city of Washington, D.C. has a new champion on their hand, and they are the Washington Capitals. So congratulations to the Washington Capitals. When I saw that brother playing on the Capitals, though, with that missing tooth, I was like, oh, yeah, he a hockey player. You can spot him in the club. He plays hockey. Hey, when we come back, we got more. It's Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Wake up.
What happened to your team? Oh, I must have smoked those.
Smoke it.
You're welcome, Malik. Yay!
Hey, Cynthia, good morning.
Chanel, I know you on Facebook.
Hey, Jay, what up?
Is it Chanel and Scott on Facebook?
Chanel Nicole Scott.
Okay. All right. There you go. I'm like, I know I've tagged her before.
Push that off button. That light, hit that real quick.
About that, right? I got you, though.
See, it lights up. It's a glow in the dark jump. Yeah. Historian Threads.
Let me see. Yeah, that's dope. Chanel, I'm pretty sure. Man, who you talking about? What you trying to say? Chaz, Mike, don't get beat up in here. Oh no, okay, I see. I think this will be fine.
I got it.
Yeah,
I said pills.
So close. Chaz, said, no. I thought that you had me a large at first.
That is a large.
No. A small, and then you gotta go up. So I was like, oh, what you trying to say? I don't mind going down a size.
Right, I thought it was small.
Yeah, we are the culture. Good morning, Laura. Hey, Akira.
We back. Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com is the website. Mike Bibby is in the building with us. Historian Threads. Also, we're going to talk to Palyce. She is the 2018-2019 Georgia Cinderella Miss. We're going to be talking about her current pageant title. Talk about her upcoming international pageant that she has coming up in Dallas, Texas, as well as her community service and Project Operation Hope. But look who's back. The lady with the 3 names. Chanel McDonald Scott is in the building. Welcome back, Chanel. Hey, man. What's happening with you?
Nothing, just wanted to come and tell you guys about Comministry this Sunday on June the 10th.
Now, this whole time, my mic wasn't working. Yours was, but you still wasn't using it. Ain't that a blip? Oh, it's all good. What's going on? So, before we talk about your event that's coming up, we're talking about hip-hop. Yeah. And you're a hip-hopper. You grew up on hip-hop, right?
Hip-hop, absolutely.
How do you feel about the state of hip-hop in 2018?
Oh, wow. Like you say, it's changed. It's definitely a different feel, a different attention span. Like he said, those bars is yah. You like, what? You bob your head to the beat. You're like, I don't know what he's saying. But if you take me back to the 90s, I'm a 70s baby, but my era is the 90s.
Amen.
I could spit every bar.
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, Nas. I could, spit it right now from start to finish. But now, what they say? Don't touch me.
And then the other thing that I've noticed, Nicole, is that if we're so into the beat that we're not even paying attention to what they're saying.
Exactly.
And then when we finally do, I was riding in a car with Brenton and I was like, hold up, did he just say I would kill you? And I was like, nah, next. I said, no. I'm sorry. I don't want to be in love to the point where I kill anybody.
Right.
I'm good
Or
on that.
what about I'm in love with the Coco?
Yeah, right. And he ain't talking about Cocoa Crispus.
I don't think I've heard that.
What? Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yeah. I think it's Future, right?
And that's when when you out in the club and you hear banging songs, and then all of a sudden you get out the club and you realize that, man, I was singing that all night and it sounds different than in the club. You know what I'm saying? It's one of
well, it might be the alcohol.
It could possibly be. Shout out to Coco. What the hell is Coco? I know I'm getting old because I don't know what a Coco is.
You don't know what Coco? You don't know what Coco is?
No, I'm about to look.
I'm about to say, Malik, help your boy out. Help your boy out, Malik.
So. All right, let's talk some ministry because y'all need it right now.
For those of you that don't know, Comministry is a relationship platform that I created to bridge the gap between purpose-driven men and women who desire to progressively move their love lives to the next level. Amen. So basically, let me just, in layman terms, you know how when you meet, for you gentlemen who meet that fine woman, or for us women who meet that fine man, and everything is going good, right? Communication is flowing, we texting, we talking, and then all of a sudden it becomes stagnant. You're like, wait a minute, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Because I've experienced this so many times, and the platform was created to kind of help us get past that place of stagnation, to get to the next level. I have yet to figure out how to do that, but I have experienced that scenario time after time again.
Yeah, I have too. And I'm like, what happened? I really want to know what I do or what. Right. But you know what? I guess obviously the right one will be willing to do whatever work it takes to get you
necessary.
Past
Absolutely.
Yeah, that stagnant point. But at the same time, you do be like, what was it?
Did I do something wrong? And then you even try to get the situation back on track through communication, because that's the only way I know how. But it either can move forward or it remains stagnant.
Yeah.
A lot of times we see these relationship panels. It's always men.
Oh no, I have
talk about and that's what I'm saying. It's always the men giving their perspective, but we never hear a combined perspective.
Yes.
You're changing that way?
Absolutely, I'm changing that way. So, first of all, I said that I would never. See, my experiences has always been women.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a balance of men and women. I said I would never have a platform without men because I'm more interested in the male perspective, right?
Very much.
I mean, just
as I
me
am.
personally, you know. So and then it's audience engagement. So it's not like panel style where you're listening to somebody talk, but the audience can get up and say, you know what, I don't agree with what
Right.
you said. So it can get really tense because I find that a lot of times the ladies get upset with the men because I encourage the men to be like honest, don't hold back. You know, this is one place where you're not going to get bashed because I'm really interested in learning, like, you know, how to date better.
Got you. I thought you was booed up the last time you was on the show.
Don't even try it. I was not booed up the last time.
This is not a single platform.
This is not.
You are not going to be trying to hook me
That's
up.
right.
Hey, this is the Michael and Joy Power 1089 dating game. Da, 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 da. Hey, if you want to no, I'm just joking. Tell us about the event real quick.
So the event is this Sunday, June the 10th, right here at the Battery at Punch Bowl Social from 4 to 8.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
This Saturday?
No, Sunday.
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 Okay. Oh, I'll be over here.
Sunday, June 10th.
Can I go?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm
gonna put you on the list.
For what?
So you
I just want to come. Oh, you're supposed to get in. Okay.
About to say you gonna be on the outside talking about something you can't even get in the club.
Nah, I just didn't want to end up on a panel somewhere, walk in and she hand a microphone to you.
Look, I might.
See, that's what I
I'm about to
said.
say, but look, let's just be honest. I mean, Michael, you and Tasha been married for over 20 years, right?
Absolutely.
22 in November.
22. So, I mean, you definitely might not necessarily know how to date now, but at one, you know, but your knowledge is necessary.
Right, but it's more, in this particular platform, we're talking about relationship success, how to balance individuality and togetherness, and the lethality of loneliness.
Oh, hold up. What's
Let
that
me look
word
up
mean?
lethality.
Hold up. Break that down real
So
quick.
break it down because there are people who are in full-blown relationships, marriages, as well as singles who are lonely. I call it chronic loneliness.
Yes.
My pastor says excessive loneliness. So when you are experiencing that level of loneliness, you can do some deadly stuff. Like you can really mess yourself up.
Yes.
You know, the idle mind is the devil's playground, right?
Yep.
So we want to really delve in and then just how to balance it, especially for those who have these huge platforms, because my platform is a celebrity relationship platform. So those people who have these public platforms and then they have these spouses or these partners, how do you balance that? How do you balance it where your partner doesn't fall in your shadow? You know,
or feel neglected.
Or feel neglected, right? So I want to deal with it on both as a married, because I have a couple, but then also from a singles perspective, because I struggle with that from time to time.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk
Matchmaker,
more.
matchmaker,
Hey, for
matchmaker,
25
so
years, Oprah Winfrey brought women to tears with her heartbreaking stories, breathtaking makeovers, and generous gifts that would go down in history. But this week, it was Oprah's turn to cry as she got her first glimpse at the new Smithsonian exhibit to honor her incredible legacy. Now, Oprah couldn't help but shed a few tears as she walked through watching Oprah at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Now, the TV legend was accompanied by her best friend, of course, Miss Gayle King, and the museum's director, Lonnie Birch, as they checked out the new 4,300 square foot exhibit. Now, Oprah had a chance to see the halls that they're going to give her from her childhood that they created. Also features Emmy Awards, diary entries, and items from the set of Oprah Winfrey's show. So if you're up in our area where the Washington Capitals just won the Stanley Cup, stop by and see Oprah's new exhibit in the African American History and Culture Museum up there in D.C. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to Palyce. She is rocking that crown today, Sean, and she is getting to work. We're going to tell you what she's got going on. Mike Bibby is in the building. And what's the website for the event Sunday?
You can get tickets at comministry.eventbrite.com.
Yo, it's Michael and Joy in the morning at michaelandjoy.com. Hey, Joy, how's she watching? And she's sitting right there. It's Michael and Joy in the morning. Wake up!
Let go. About to say about them journal entries.
Mike, I'm putting the game together for you right now. I'm putting the game together for you right now.
You hear me? Like,
Switch out with Palyce.
Oprah, which journal entries would you like us to use? Hold on 1 second, let me find it. Can you imagine like just them randomly picking out journal entries for you for the, you know, he said that they had some of her journal entries.
Wow, yeah.
At the exhibit. Hold on, not that one.
Right, because she had to let them read it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. About that. Palyce, come up something. Perfect.
Listen. You know what you're talking about?
She was like, I got my notes, mommy.
She got her notes. She said, don't get this wrong, don't get that wrong, don't get that wrong. You got it.
You got it, Palyce. It's just talking to two people with a bunch of people listening. You got it. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Chris. Hey, Tasha. Hey, mommy. I just posted the link for the for your event. Mike, while you standing over there, do you mind just turning my phone at the top close to this side? Just rotate it. Yeah, be
good.
Keep going. A little bit more, bam, yeah. And then also while you're over there, can you plug my Mevo up? There's a cord right here where all these cords are at for an Android. I think it might be the darker one.
Oh, the darker one.
Mike, while you're over there, can I get some coffee?
Mike, can you go grab me a biscuit real quick?
What I'm looking at?
Into the back of that Mevo. Yeah. Y'all leave him alone. Like, you know, I got a bum knee, so I gotta take my time. I figured, you know, since Palyce is all properly situated, that I would just ask Mike to do it.
Let's go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Michael. Michael working on that game. So the new game that we play is like a throwback song. So he'll play a throwback song, and then we have to figure out the year that it came out. Yeah, so that'll be fun. You want to use one of these to record? No, you good?
You don't know how to work them.
Yeah, I know.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com is the website. Got an awesome show for you today. Mike Bibby, Historian Threads, is in the building. Miss Chanel Nicole Scott is hanging out with us today. I bet you did not know that today is the 8th of June, and that means that it is Best Friends Day. Yep, June 8th, to honor your closest and dearest friends. It's called Best Friends Day. Now, the relationship between best friends are often fierce and can withstand distance, storms, and silence. Now, whether you've known them all your lives or more recently acquired new friends, best friends make tough times even more bearable. Fun times memorable, and memorable times priceless. Now, maybe there's several best friends in your life, but no matter how many there are, get together and celebrate your day today. Still close with a lot of my best friends. One of my first best friends ever was Bruce Bailey. Me and Bruce got into a fight the first time we ever met. I think we were about 6 years old. Yep.
Like
Bruce and I became friends, best friends to this day, going on, I guess, 40 years or so. Bruce was the guy who I talked about who was in Junkyard Band and Backyard.
And you didn't know he was
right. He didn't tell me.
I'm about to say, yeah, shout out to y'all best friend, y'all friends.
Right, exactly. He hid that from us and the church. The congregation would not have been happy for that.
You know, the interesting thing is, you know, you say that you've had a best friend that you've known for 40 years. I would love to ask women whether or not they have had a best friend for over 20 plus years. Chanel, you have a best friend that you've had for over 20 years?
And Sean and I are the same way. Sean Reynolds.
I know, but men ain't as petty as
I know. I mean, Sean,
that was why.
Sean was one of the first non-relatives that I became to grow close with when I moved to Atlanta back in 1987. So we was like 11th grade, and Sean and I have been kicking it. And the cool thing about best friends is that, like I said, you don't have to talk to them every day.
Yeah,
you don't have
of course
we could go a month without talking, but we will send that text and say, "Hey, love you, bruh. Think about you." No, not think about you.
I'm about to say, well, if you're texting and you're thinking about it, I mean, no homo. I was like, I'll take that back. I do have one best friend. Shout out to Nakoma that I have known since. I've known Nakoma since middle school, and we have that type of friendship. But I say that to say that I feel like as women grow, sometimes we grow away from some of our friends, or they grow away from us.
I just hate to play the game where, hey, call your best friend and see if they answer the phone, because Sean never answers his phone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bank on him to be the guy to call.
That
If I
would-
need that one call,
Right.
he ain't going to answer. My brother not, they ain't going to
I'm
do
about
it.
to say, so who would answer?
Who will answer?
Tasha don't count.
Yeah, it can't be a spouse. It has to
Well,
be
you only
somebody.
got one,
We got to
so.
think about it.
Tasha.
Answer the phone without calling them. I don't know. It might be Mike Bibby, because Mike would be like, shoot, that Michael and Jordan, that might got some orders for me or something. Look at that. Hey, what's up, Michael? But we'll figure it out. It's somebody. Hey, Palyce is in the building. Good morning, Palyce.
Good morning.
So I try to really over pronunciate your name because it's a very simple name, Palyce, but moms and dad put a little different spin on how they spelled it, huh? So when you was growing, you would learn how to spell your name. You was like, oh, this don't look like Palyce. It's not what the teacher told us.
Well, it was more my middle name I had trouble spelling.
Okay.
I would keep putting different letters in and then have to figure out it's not that letter, switching them out.
What's your middle name?
Evelyn.
Oh,
Evelyn.
that's a
Oh,
good
you got a
one.
nice grown lady name.
Yeah, your parents did that. Congratulations. We are so excited for you and for everything that
I can see
you
her
got going on.
resume. P. Evelyn.
And then her last name.
Then her last name, exactly. That's how Malik said he was going to do his resume. It's M. Alexander McFadden instead of the typical Malik.
I would hire her.
Yeah, I would too. But he's a horrible worker. Hey, 2018, 2019, Georgia Cinderella Miss. Tell us about that pageant and what it means to you.
So this pageant is not a beauty pageant, so it's nothing like you see on those TV shows like Toddlers and Tiaras. There's no spray tans and full makeup faces. There's none of that. So the judges don't want to see you in a full face of makeup. They just want to see you, the natural you.
Awesome.
And so you have to also do an interview. For Cinderella, it's a panel interview, so there's a group of people, and then you just answer questions from each person. And then there's a personal introduction, which is like a short speech. And then you have to do a formal presentation of yourself walking on stage in
Nice.
party dress, I guess.
Nice.
Oh,
You
wow.
have been here before, meaning in
Yes.
this world before,
Yeah,
right?
right.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
Yeah, you've been here before. You talk like a 40-year-old woman.
I'm like, look, I'm sitting here like, let me get my posture straight.
She talk like an Evelyn, don't she? Like, but congratulations to you. Next is the international pageant that's going to be held in Dallas. You get a little nervous as you do your pageants?
Oh, yeah, a
Okay.
little. There's going to be a lot more people in the international because at state it was a smaller group of people. And so now at internationals it's going to be girls from all over the world. So
Awesome.
they're all going to be traveling to Dallas to
Okay.
compete for the international title.
Got you.
So, quick question. When you go to these pageants, how are you with the other girls that are there? Like, I could see myself totally, like, making new friends and like, having pen pals. Are you the same way, or is it very, like, competitive?
No, I like to focus on making friends because I don't want to spend all my time trying to compete against other people. Because we like to say my biggest competition is myself.
Okay.
So we're not competing against people, we're competing with people.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
Love it.
And Palyce, how do you separate the two? Because we hear a lot of stories about kids, especially as it pertains to social media and bullying and stuff like that. How do you separate yourself from all that?
So I just make friends. I'm very charismatic,
Yes,
I guess.
you are.
So I just gravitate towards people in a way. So it's not. I don't like to have all that drama because like I like to make friends during pageants because
Yeah.
we're like all over the state. So it's fun to have people to talk to from like on the other side of the country.
Right.
So it's very fun. Of course, there's still going to be bits and pieces of drama, but I try to stay away from that.
When Joy mentioned pen pal, did you know what she was talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
I've done
okay.
pen pals.
Really? They still do that in 2018? I totally
I
forgot.
was gonna say, well, it might be like more of like a pen email, like or an email pal.
Oh, okay, email pal,
Or a
right?
Snapchat pal or a Facebook pal. But I actually think that writing is still not a lost art, right? Like, yeah, like people still write.
Now, Palyce, how did you get started? How did this start for you. Was it parents? Was it you?
So, my friend Addison.
Addison.
Actually,
Shout out to
What a cute
Addison.
name.
So she's been doing pageants for a long time, and so for the first pageant I was in, it was called National American Miss. So you could request people to join, and so Addison had been requesting me for years and years, and then my mom threw away the letters without actually telling me. So then
She was like, we not ready yet.
eventually she told me about it, and I figured, hey, this could be fun.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved being on stage. I loved performing. So just being able to do that was just a lot of fun.
Hey, when
I
we
can
come
totally
back,
see
we're going to
that.
talk more with Palyce. We're going to talk about some of your community service that you're doing, because you don't just get to wear the crown for the year. You got to put in some work, don't you?
Yeah.
You got to put in some work. Like, we about to push you to work. Go downstairs, get the door for us. I'm joking. We'll never do that to you. Hey, when we come back, we got your birthdays and shout-outs. And guess what, Mike Bibby? We are playing... Man, how time flies today because you are here. Don't go nowhere. We got more. It's Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Power 108.9. Shouty.
What up? Hey, Zena. Hey, Calvin. You did really good.
Really good.
Well spoken.
Palyce.
Like you might be the president.
She said it is not about competing with anybody else. It is competing with myself. Hey, Sterling. Hey, Tony. Hey, Earl.
Well, my stomach over here.
Hey, Dr.
Oh,
Tori. Hey,
I
Scorpio.
hope the mic don't pick it up.
I hear it.
Look, you might want one of these good old waters for a minute. Try to calm that thing down. I just did the same drive.
Take a shot of this
You know,
moonshine,
this
bro.
Palyce to get you some donuts.
Oh, no.
Right up.
I said, what you got over there, sweet tea? That's what it looked like. You see that moonshine?
Chantel. Is it Chantel or Nicole?
Chanel.
Chanel.
Yes.
Ooh, I got it wrong. I'm sorry. Is your event sold out?
No, it's not sold out.
Awesome. Okay.
I put the link for her Eventbrite on our YouTube, and I put it on our Facebook page.
You know
I
what?
was gonna say,
Yes.
her and her husband, they are the power marriage couple.
Oh. We do a lot of stuff with married couples. So
Y'all doing the walk again?
you can see through the car.
Y'all did the
We
walk
did the
last
walk.
year. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're meeting up with them to do more with those guys.
You know why I think people relationships fizzle out? Like what you were saying.
Yeah, cause hold up, how long have you been married, Mike?
Coming next year be 5.
Yeah.
It's 4.
About to say, don't dumb that down. That's the
like,
tough. That's
email.
the
Like
toughest
you'll never miss anybody. Let me FaceTime you real quick.
That's what somebody
Wait a
else
minute
said.
and love me later.
That's what someone else said. They were like, okay, I'm with you all night. Then, then as soon as I get in the car, we might talk on the telephone, or we're texting, or we're calling. And the dude was just like, look, I mean, I seen everything you did today because you posted it on Facebook. We ain't got nothing to talk about by the time you get home as it pertains to what your day was, Like back in the day, you actually didn't necessarily know till y'all talked about it later.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Palyce is in the building with us today. Mike Bibby, Historian Threads, is in the building. And of course, Miss Chanel Nicole Scott. She has an event that's coming up on Sunday. We're going to tell you how you can register, get in the building, hang out with us right here at the Battery, as a matter of fact. Our Punch Bowl Social. Nice spot up in there. Haven't eaten or partied in there yet, but may get a chance this Sunday. Glad you're doing it on Sunday.
Super cute.
And I'm getting this Weight Watchers thing down.
So that's your cheat day?
Man.
Oh, that's when your points roll over.
Yeah, point roll Saturday, right. Because I'm about to be straight diva mode today, boy. I ain't eating nothing. I got to weigh in tomorrow, so I ain't eating nothing.
Oh, you're fasting today?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but you're not going to eat nothing.
I ain't going to eat nothing. I'm going to take some of this Epsom salt a little bit later on.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, thank you.
What is Epsom salt?
What is that?
What?
Oh, it's so clean you all the way
Let me
out.
Google this for you so you can read it, Miss Chanel Nicole Scott. Hey, if you celebrate the birthday
what you
today,
want, I'll
happy
tell you that.
birthday to you. Here's some celebs that share that same day. Mr. Kanye West is celebrating a birthday today. He turns 41 years old today.
Call me Kane.
Happy birthday to Kanye West and his 7-track album that he just put out. Also, Juliana Margulies. Practiced that name all
with
last
the
night.
pretty hair.
Yes, she is
Yeah.
52 years old today. The Good Wife. Wasn't that The Good Wife?
I don't
yeah,
know.
she's
I
playing
just
The Good Wife.
remember her hair.
Also celebrating a birthday today, Nancy Sinatra is 78 years old. No, that's not the wife of the late Nancy Frank Sinatra. That's the daughter.
Oh, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
she was
whoa.
78 years old today. Also got to say happy birthday to the 68th mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick, shout out to him. You know, he just got out of the pokey.
Hey,
Yeah, he just got out of the pokey, boy.
Don't drop the
He's
soap.
48 years old. He's 48 years old. Kwame did that state time. Yeah, I'm not messing with that state time. Also celebrating
You're
the
not
birthday
messing with
today.
no time.
Yeah, really not. Also celebrating the birthday today, Jerry Stiller, the dad of Ben Stiller, and he played on Seinfeld. He was, he's 91 years old today. And we gotta say happy birthday to one of the best to ever do it, best comedy shows of our generation and far beyond. Keenan Ivory Wayans, the creator of In Living Color, he turned 60 years old today. And a couple of WV birthdays. Those would have been birthdays, Palyce. If they would have been here with us today, they would have been celebrating a birthday today. Joan Rivers would have been 84 years old today. And you know what? Even as she rests,
Shout out to Joan.
she still looks the same.
You know, her and her daughter look a whole lot alike. But while we celebrate
And also
birthdays,
celebrate a birthday today, Barbara Bush. Y'all remember Barbara Bush, the dad, the mom
you know who
of
the lady
George
I thought
W. Bush
was
is
still alive yesterday?
92 years old today.
Did you
She
hear me?
passed away earlier this year.
The lady I thought was still alive
Yeah,
yesterday.
she left us a couple of months ago. But happy birthday to those guys.
Happy birthday to my homegirl, Miss Cookie Peeples, to Mr. Jack Manning III, Bijan, Machen, and Mr. Tiwa Works. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you from us, Michael and Joy, at Power 108.9.
Hey, we are sitting with the 2018-2019 Georgia Cinderella Miss Palyce is in the building. We talked about the pageant. We talked about your upcoming international pageant that you have going on. But talk about some of your community service and some of your responsibilities since you've been crowned.
So, as royalty, I guess you would call it.
There you
You
go.
have to make like monthly appearances, so that can be doing community service, that can be like going to libraries and reading to children. It can be anything you want. And recently, with some of my friends from National American Miss, we went to the Ronald McDonald House and we made some lunch, dinner, I think it was dinner there. And I also gave away some of my Hope packages. And Operation Hope is my project that I created with the help of the Georgia Department of Education Middle School Advisory Committee.
Nice.
And so-
I would jack that up.
No, she didn't even look at her notes on that one. That was good.
So I have a project where it's basically just giving away hygiene and other personal care essentials, which is actually what HOPE stands for.
Okay.
So I've given them to my school, people who need help who go to my school, and the Ronald McDonald House. I've given them to the local children's home in my community. I've just done anything I can to just give back.
You are awesome.
Well, when you talk about your Hope Project, how can we as, individuals help you do what you're doing?
So I'm taking donations, so that could be like donations of actual products, so that could be like toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, any hygiene products. And then you can also donate money so I can buy the products for my next pack of kits.
Palyce, what have you, in all of these years, over a decade, you have been walking this earth. What have you learned about yourself in this such a short period of time?
So I learned that I really am a performer. I love to perform. I sing. I play guitar. I do pageants. I just love to be on stage. I also act. And a month ago, marked my 5-year anniversary of acting.
Nice.
5 years.
So that was fun.
Now, we're going to find out how much you love music, because we're going to let you play our game today, too. Man, how time flies, and see how good you can do
I'm
it.
going to fail.
Right. Hey, I do the same thing. That's why I'm the host of the game show and not a contestant. But for those that want to continue to follow your journey, follow you to Texas to see you bring home the crown back to ATL, how can we continue to follow and support you?
So on Instagram, I am Palyce Evelyn. So that's I am PALYCE EVELYN.
And where can we donate?
I have a Gmail.
Okay.
I have a Gmail account called Team Palyce.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
So you can
I got
do
you.
some there, or my mom.
Gotcha.
She's more in charge of all that.
Gotcha.
Or if you just want to give me $20, I'll make
Yeah, that's what I do.
$15. Hey,
No.
Chanel gave me this 10. Hey, when we come back, we're going to play some Man How Time Flies. We're going to talk to Mike Bibby, Historian Threads. Also, Miss Chanel Nicole Scott is in the building. And what states are more susceptible to hacks and all that good stuff? And who does the best? We'll talk about that. It's Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Wake up, leg out.
Team Palyce at Gmail. Nikki?
Yes.
Good job. Good job. Switch out with Mike real quick. I might have you come back on and shout. Hey, Tamika.
Man, you did better than everybody in the White House.
Thank
Everybody
you.
in Fox News. You was killing it.
She did good. What up, Chris? How you doing? www.
Hey, Tamika. Good morning. With a smile.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I
Palyce,
said.
Tamika is struggling to say with a smile on her face. It's smile. Talk. Yeah, she's awesome.
That's how much the
I remember the pain. I was not struggling with them.
What did you ask?
McFadden.
That's me and my husband.
I would be there too, but we have an event on Sunday, Chanel.
What's up, baby?
You was
Yeah.
so DC, like out and out early.
Okay.
DC came over.
Oh, y'all from Virginia, right?
No.
You're from Baltimore,
Just
okay.
relationship, not marriage.
The rest from Baltimore and New York.
It's everybody.
The wire.
His husband has
The
it.
wire.
Lots of things.
The wire.
Resources.
From both. Hi,
To
mommy.
be a part of something for the past.
Yeah.
Also,
Absolutely.
especially younger millennial singles.
Yeah.
Christian millennial singles. Yeah. Struggling.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard
What
when
up,
I start
Ronnie?
the platform. So I'm
Ronnie, what you doing next
Shout
week?
out to Sneaker Exit on Sunday.
single and I have
Where me and Mike Bibby will be Bibby.
Never married.
We'll be rocking his Historian Threads booth. Will be in full effect on Sunday in Gwinnett. You see that? You see that?
Infinite Energy Center.
Y'all ain't get that excited. Y'all ain't get as excited as I did.
Yeah, we're not talking.
Hey, I'm about to spit these bars.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Gotta say good morning to Mr. Ronnie Moss. Ronnie's gonna be hanging out with us. Why Ronnie Moss? Because he's in the Spinners. You're talking about some old school. Spanish,
oh, really? The group?
Yes.
Oh, I love them.
He's coming up. I told him we're gonna get it coordinated. We're gonna get them up there before they go back on the road.
Come on,
Shout out,
Ronnie.
I want to learn how to bring some of those suits up in here. You know, them old school groups.
And
Them wearing
them
them suits, boy.
And them
them
dance
moves.
steps, boy.
I can do them moves. I can't do them young people moves. They be doing now, like Chris Brown and them. They be doing too much jigging and all
I'm
that
about
kind
to
of
say
stuff.
Sierra. I be like, come on now, Sierra. You know you're the only one that can do all that.
Then the Temptation, they do. Ooh, ooh,
But you gotta be on beat. That's the
yeah,
only thing.
all you gotta do is snap your finger. Ooh,
What is that though?
and then we all do that bow together.
It might hit you with the one hand.
Hey, mess around, I'm gonna be in the group, but I'll be
I
on
was gonna say, slow down, Mike.
Nah, we got an
Slow down.
awesome show. Hey, if you live in Florida, though, Florida residents are the most careless in the nation when it comes to protecting themselves online, according to a new report that ranks the riskiest places for cybercrime. Now, researchers evaluated how ready consumers in each state were to prevent or detect or respond to attacks through malware, phishing, stuff like that. And the Florida came in dead last, followed by Wyoming, Montana, New Mexico, and Illinois. So if you're in them states, y'all need to step your game up. People in New Hampshire, though, were the smartest about online safety, followed by Massachusetts, Utah, Rhode Island, and Minnesota. And I'm looking at it,
I
and
was like,
statistically...
Atlanta, Georgia, nowhere, huh?
Nah, I'm just thinking the best and the smartest people online are Massachusetts, Utah, Rhode Island, and Minnesota. Do they even have internet in those states? Maybe that's why.
Why they smart?
Exactly. Mike Bibby,
One thing
man.
they ain't gotta worry about.
Yeah, congratulations to you once again, Historian Threads, man. Tell us about what some of the products that you guys carry at Historian Threads.
Oh, dope. So, right, you're holding our the 4-point crown hat. Each of the points represent an element of hip hop. So, MC, DJ, breaking, and graffiti.
Okay.
So, you know, we use the hashtag all we see is crowns. And that's a reminder also to our people that we are royalty. So
Amen.
you always see me with a crown on.
Yeah.
And,
Talk about your team, man, because I know you can't do this thing by
oh
yourself.
man, so I have my best friend Chaz, and like we kind of made a pact, like we help each other with business. So he has a cleaning company.
Okay.
And then I have Darrell. We all knew each other since high school.
Okay.
So,
We high school. I worked with Darrell. We went to college. Well, all of us went to college together. Everything. And Darrell has a travel agency.
Wow.
TD Travel.
TD Travel. Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever we need, we help each other. Like Chad need me to help clean the store.
Mm-hmm.
I'll clean the store. You
Yeah.
know, if I need his help to do a show, like we doing a show this weekend, Sneaker X in Gwinnett County. He helped drive down here. 12 hours from Baltimore to get me here in time for the show. And
shout out to Best Friend Day. I just feel like there's a group hug about to happen right here.
But did your best friend get you something to eat when he heard that stuff on the microphone?
He was like, no, he grabbed that water though.
Be like, hey, I think I saw some lifesavers out there, Mike. I'm gonna go grab a couple of them things for you. Tell us about the show that you guys are doing Sunday.
So we do a Sneaker Exit, which is like a sneaker trade show. So you know, definitely come out, bring your kids. Like, stay there with your kids to find out what they're interested in. A lot of times I'm at sneaker shows, especially in DC, and you'll see like 12-year-olds walking around with $2,000 in DC. Sounds like a problem, but you know, to each his own. But come with your kids and spend time like with their interests. But it's also like 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. 80 to trade shoes, people with no legs, people with one leg.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I love about Sneaker Exit and just these sneaker shows is you see these young kids walking around with shoes in the air, like literally like wanting to like sell them or swap them out. And so a lot of times I'll have conversations and I'm like, how did you amass like this much money to be able to buy these brand new Jordans or whatever the case is? Some of the kids say that, you know, the report cards, their parents pay them, or that they're actually working this young to be able to create this income, because at the end of the day, this is something that they want. It's something that they're into, which is cool because, you know, we talk about the culture being lost. And sneakers is a big part of hip hop.
And you think about growing up in our era, 70s and 80s, you know, we were collecting baseball cards and stuff like that.
Basketball cards.
All those things. But now it has evolved from the baseball cards to now people are like, they're really collecting shoes, and they really do this not only as something that they love to do, but they do it as a business as well.
And I got into sneakers because we couldn't get the shoes. You know, I remember I wanted the Mitch Richmonds, and my dad was like, "All right, let's go. We go in the store and get them." And we pulled up at the basketball court, and he was like, "Go ahead and dunk." That's how you get $125 shoes.
Right.
So I didn't get those shoes till I turned 20, and they
Shout out to Dad. But if that was a reality check for you.
And I've never like been a sneaker guy at all. I'm just like going to Marshalls or Ross, and you see them in that little clearance rack, and they got your size, and you can find them made. I'm that kind of guy that I gotta pay. Right. That's me all day. But there are some people out there that really, really enjoy you know, the shoe game, and it's awesome that you guys are gonna be repping.
Definitely, we got friends we went to high school with, and they make a whole career out of this.
Yes.
I mean, they release shoes with Under Armour. They will be releasing shoes with Nike this year, and it's like all people we went to high school with. They just started having sneaker shows in Baltimore.
What's them right there? I see, boy. Look at that.
KD on Pearls.
Definitely ain't at Marshalls. You're not gonna find those at Marshalls no
Not
time
yet.
soon. You're right. Maybe 20,
You
29.
might find it JD's.
My mom think you can find everything at Marshalls. Like, why you buy that car regular price? It's gonna be at Marshalls.
Depending on which one you go to, right, Tasha?
Hey, that's right. Hey, depending on where you look too, because you might be looking for that shirt that you saw. It's probably ducked off in the Tupperware because somebody was hiding it until they came back. You know what I'm saying? So it happens like that. Hey, this is the portion of the show where we play this game. It's called Man, How Time Flies. And the way the whole thing started was I was riding around in the car, Tasha and I, and a song came on the radio. And you know how now they'll show you the year that the song came out. And as I was listening to the song, I saw the year and I was like, man, that was 30 years ago. So we created this game. It's 3 songs, and today what we're going to do is we're going to put your crew against this crew. So in essence, it's a battle of the sexes today as it pertains to Man, How Time Flies. Now, we weren't originally going to play this game, but when Mike Bibby came in today, the first thing that he said was, hey, I hope we're playing my favorite game today. So guess what? I was
Yeah.
working behind the scenes, and we put it together just for you, Mike.
Thank you.
So you know what that means? You guys gotta win.
Come
So,
true.
don't yell out your answer. I'm gonna play a portion of the song, and I want you to think what year you think that record came out without going over the year, and whoever's closest get a point for that. All right. So we're gonna start with our first record. Don't look
I
at.
was gonna say,
notes
Chanel,
right
if
here,
you know
okay?
the words, we would like you to rap them.
Great point. Awesome point. Hey, we're gonna start with this first record right here. 702.
It's Michael's favorite.
702. Stilo. Look, they were there acting like it's Family Feud. Alright, so, hold on, here we go. Alright, stop talking. Baltimore crew, stop talking. Alright, so we're going to start with this side of the room over here. Ladies, what do you think, what year you think this record came out? Miss Chanel.
I don't know. I wasn't a 702 fan.
That's okay, but we just still need a year, sis.
2000.
2000.
Mm.
Hold on.
Look
Okay,
at Mike.
2000.
Mike is
Okay,
so intense.
Palyce.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Just say a year.
2004.
2004. Mom.
2005.
2005. All right. Fellas, you guys are up. Bibby, what year do you think Stilo by 702 came out?
97?
97.
97?
98.
98.
I'm going with 97 as well.
97. And if you said the year 1996, no winner. No winner on that record right there. Sorry.
I knew it was middle school.
All right, here's the second one. Right now it's 0-0. Here's the second record. What year did this record come out?
What is that?
Diana Ross, Love Hangover. What year did Diana Ross's Love Hangover come out? Ah, yeah.
I don't know.
Turn the lights down. All right, ladies, you are up first. What year do you think Love Hangover by Diana Ross came out? Miss Chanel.
1974?
1974. Palyce.
73.
73. Mom.
76.
76. All right, fellas, it's on you. What year Diana Ross's Love Hangover?
1971.
71.
70.
70.
1972.
72. And if you say anything close to the year 1980, you are correct. So, ladies, you get a point.
I said it confidently.
Point from
though, 'cause I had the
them.
1977.
Alright. So right now the ladies are leading 1-1. Guys, you have an
1980.
opportunity to tie the game up at least, or ladies, you can take the lead. This record right here. What year did this record by Future come out? Hold on, how about the clean version?
What is this? What is this?
Mask off.
Look, talk about first cassette.
Alright, so ladies, we're coming to you. This is for the win. What year did Future's Mask Off come out? Chanel, we're going to start with you.
2016?
2016. Palyce.
2017.
2017. Mom.
16.
Going with 16. Fellas, Mike Bibby, what year?
2000.
Percocet. I used to think
2017.
17 is the year.
17.
17 is the year.
I'm going to go with 2015.
2015.
Wow.
If you said anything near the year 2016, you are the
The funny thing is, you didn't hear her rap not one word. Oh yeah. That's all I know. That's all I know.
We the one.
Good job, y'all.
That was fun.
Yes. I'm about to say.
Those are good songs to choose from, man.
Was close this year.
And I was thinking at that, I was like, is that disco? I can't hear no disco.
Michael, for that to be your favorite show, you ain't getting out 1 point right now.
But 2 times,
Two
playing
times.
at my home game, I hit it right on the dot. The home edition.
The whole edition.
That's like playing
the whole edition.
That's like playing Jeopardy at home. Man, I knew all them answers.
Right.
After the fact, right?
Like, I knew that.
I knew that.
That was hilarious. Hey, thank you, Margot. She said, what show is this?
You could really develop this into a real game.
She said, but I'm loving it and I like the energy. Well, thank you. I hope we got a new fan. Follow us. We are Michael and Joy in the morning. Thanks for sharing, Governor.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com is the website. It is Friday. Shout out to everybody that hustled for the weekend because today is your day. For all of us entrepreneurs out there who work 7 days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, holiday, it don't matter because we always grinding. However, I am thankful I don't have to wake up early on Saturday. So shout out to Saturday.
Hello.
Hey, we got an awesome show for you today. The CEO and president of Historian Threads, Bibby, is in the building with us today, all the way from Baltimore, Maryland.
Be more careful.
Shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to them crabs up there. Shout out.
Yo, what's
I went DC to Atlanta.
DC to Atlanta.
Chanel Nicole Scott is in the building. We're going to talk about her event that's coming up on this Saturday. And of course,
Sunday.
we have, I'm sorry, this Sunday. Also, Palyce is in the building. The 2018-2019 Georgia Cinderella is hanging out with us today. Yay! And because today is the 8th of June, did you know that on this day back in 1986 that the Boston Celtics won their 16th NBA championship? And speaking of basketball, tonight is game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Golden State Warriors for the 4th consecutive year. And tonight is either win or technically stay home because Cleveland's at home. They don't have to go nowhere, but just jump on the Uber or something and go home. Who you got tonight, Mike?
I roll with LeBron all the time. So.
Okay, that's awesome. Miss Chanel?
I was going to say, you know it's a team, not just one person, right?
Is it?
Good point.
Now, your event going down Sunday. I'm
Sunday,
sorry. What are you
June
guys going to be talking about?
So we're going to be talking about relationship success, how to balance togetherness and individuality, and the lethality of loneliness.
So let's talk about the lethality of loneliness. My wife and I have been together for 24 years now. We're about to celebrate 25 years of actually being together. 22 years married this November, and I think there was a point early on in our marriage where I realized when she wasn't there, I was lonely. And a lot of times you hear people, say that, they want to be single, blah, blah, blah. But there's just something about having someone there, not just physically, but all of the other emotions that go along with that.
Absolutely. I find that when you, as a single woman, I can only speak from that perspective, especially someone, I live in Atlanta, no family. Loneliness is a big deal for me. Business is great, but when you come home and you're not doing business and you're in that house by yourself, then how do you balance that? You know what I'm saying? How do you stay busy? How do you not get in trouble? How do you not allow, crazy stuff to jump off just in the trying to find something to fill that space and void.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of have an open dialogue about how do you deal with that. I've invited couples, married couples, singles, people who are in relationships, just to kind of speak to the topic so that I can, as well as other people who are listening, glean principles on how to balance that and deal with that.
One of the things that I used to do is I just used to work till I couldn't work no more. So when I got home, I would just pass out.
Really? Now that's an option. That's an option.
I was like, okay, look, let me book this schedule to the point that literally I am exhausted. I take my shower, I read, and I'm like, till the
how
next
long
day.
can you do that?
Well, luckily I'm in a relationship now, so I don't have to worry about it. So, but
because Joy used to come in here and be like, I watched the whole series of blah, blah, blah. I was like, it was 10 seasons of that. Well,
I'm just saying, I know it now. But I think that one of the things that's good is when you've been single for a long time and you know what you're willing to take on and what you're not willing to take on. And at some point, you just have to be able to say, this is what I deserve, and I'm not going to, you know, take anything other than that.
Now, there's a flip side to that because, you know, the way that I work through disappointment is thrusting myself into business.
work.
But then it gets to a point where you're like, okay, I have these standards, but how long am I going to remain single? Like, how long am I going to have to sacrifice, or compromise? You know, at what point do I lower my standards and then accept subpar?
But I don't necessarily think that it is a lower your standard type deal. I feel like when you're walking in your purpose, that you got like 6 months and then he'll show up.
Okay.
When you talk about when you talk about having to sacrifice, because we do, because as we're younger, our needs change as we're younger, and that stuff it's not impressive now in my 40s. You know what I'm saying?
Or like. People say, you know, you got to know your self-worth or you got to know your value. I'm like, I know my self-worth and I know my value, but after a while, it's like, I don't care about that.
Right.
You know, I want to have companionship.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have someone who can pour into you. I pour so much out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, community was inspired by my own personal experiences. Mm-hmm. You know, loneliness is real and I'm over 40. Mm-hmm. You know, so and I've never been married. Mm-hmm. So you got to know, like, it gets to a point where you're like, I don't care about those things that people hype up about.
Yeah,
know your worth.
Definitely
you know,
change.
right.
Like you might Elam came in and he talks about relationships typically on Fridays, Understanding a Man, and he said, you know, like the average woman says that she wants somebody that's 6 feet tall or 6'3". Mm-hmm. Well, that just wipes out like half of the population because the average man isn't 6 feet tall.
5'9". Women be 5'10".
Right, exactly.
Not even that. This day and age, like you were talking about hip hop. Like in relationships, people are dismissive. And you was like, they just have no regard. You know, people can be so dismissive. I was just speaking with this young lady over here, and just saying that nowadays you can have a disagreement, and then a person is completely done with you. You like, we just had a disagreement.
Like I thought this was just a conversation.
Yeah, it's just a conversation. But now we're not friends anymore. And I'm like, we're not friends anymore.
Like
at my age, that's how this rolls. That's how this go. You know.
Yeah.
So just having to work through that.
But I think that we're in a point now where you just have to find the person that wants to work through it.
But nobody wants to work through it.
I was gonna say, but don't speak that on your life because that's a lie.
And that's the
somebody
reason,
gonna want to work through it with you.
And that's the reason why you ask married couples that have been together for 20 plus years or so, or even 10 years, going on a decade. We hear the panels talk about, you know, infidelity and money and all of that kind of stuff. But that comes from not communicating and not figuring out where the source of the problem is coming from.
Right.
We run away from it, but you got to sit down and have these conversations. And Nikki is over there. She so want to chime in.
I
She
know
so want to chime in over there. The Power Couple Marriage LLC. Come on, Nikki. Come chime in. I know you want to say something.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
I didn't come here for this, but I do just want to jump in and say that Chanel is right. People are dismissive about relationships, especially marriage. I would imagine so on the relationship side also. The challenge is people don't want to work anymore. I think the lie has been, people have believed the lie. And the lie that Hollywood tells you is that love is butterflies and love is, marriage is easy. And y'all done bought into that foolishness. It is not. It is work. Anybody tell you that it's not work is lying.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It takes intentionality. My husband and I talk about marriage like a fire. Y'all watch Naked and Afraid? Okay, so Naked and Afraid, when they make the fire, you got to keep the fire going.
Yep.
Because if you stop working on the fire go out.
Yep.
Then they be like, what happened to the fire? But if you making fire, if you want the fire to burn, you got to tend the fire. You got to find the tinder. You got to rub the sticks every day. You got to cultivate the fire every day. But that's not your
Nikki, get out of the way before
But
you
you
hit
know
me.
what? The thing that I trip out on is that, so to get the job, we put in our application. We really, really want this job.
Right.
Then we get the job, and then now all of a sudden we not working for a promotion.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like you know, you get in a relationship, and now everything that it took for me to get to that relationship, now all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. Like that doesn't even make sense.
And Mike Bibby is hanging out with us too, Historian Threads, and you said you and your wife have been together for married 5 years now?
Coming up, our 4th year. We just had our 4th anniversary. But I think the
Well,
thing
speak
that I
5 into existence. I hear you.
listen, My wife is Trini. I don't know if I could go anywhere. But the thing that I find in relationships, and even like when I was dating coming up, people think that like you're supposed to be happy every day.
Yeah.
And like people
That's
aren't
not the
willing to
reality.
accept that sometimes you aren't happy. And that's part of life, because if you happy every day, you're just regular. You know,
Right.
like happiness and sadness are, you know, hills and valleys.
Right.
So like people don't, like, we have an aversion to pain, to even like think about how we eat, right? Like people used to eat bitters, like nobody eats bitters no more. You just sugar.
Yeah.
You want everything sweet. And everything can't be sweet.
And everything isn't gonna be sweet. And I think that the main thing is just knowing that there is somebody out there. I mean, I got a lot of stuff, and I was like, "You sure?" He was like, "Yeah, whatever. We got it. We good."
Hey, it is going down this Sunday. Chanel Nicole Scott is going to be in the building right here at the Battery Punch Bowl Social, to be more Pacific. Hey, for tickets, how can they get information?
To get tickets, you go to comministry.eventbrite.com, and Comministry is CHEMINISTRY, so Kim Ministry.
Hey, cover your ears, Palyce, because a Long Island man is suing CVS after he says the drugstore alerted his wife to his Viagra prescription. Now, Michael Feinberg purchased a prescription for 8 tablets of the little blue pills and 5 refills at CVS. And he asked his insurance company not to bill him for the purchase, explaining that he preferred to just pay for them himself. Now, his lawsuit alleges that when his wife called a few days later to inquire about one of her prescriptions, a CVS employee identified as Arula mentioned that the Viagra prescription will not be covered by your insurance. Wifey said, "What? Viagra?" Now, the disclosure, according to Feinberg, has caused severe mental anguish, pain, and suffering, as well as damage to his marriage, although court documents don't explain what exactly happened between the couple. But because he tried to hide that Viagra prescription, shorty, guess what? Did not work out, partner. Why you laughing, Mike?
What are you trying to say?
Because he wasn't using no Viagra's on her. That's
Right, exactly. Hey, when we come back, we're going to wrap this thing up. This is Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com.
What had happened was, which is where the fail starts.
Why does 8 look like a 6? The number of pills in the bottle. They try to change the number. I didn't get that.
Let's go say they pulled out the marker. No, not at all.
I'm a professional.
Oh, you
I'm good.
scared me.
I'm about to be I'm a magician on this next life, so I got a lot of cool tricks.
Don't believe
If you want to stand right there, I can throw it around. You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I can throw it around you. No, I was watching this movie and the lady was having a conversation with a younger girl, and the younger girl was like, "Yeah, I just thought that by this age I would be married and I would have 2.5 kids and I would live in this." And then the older lady, that's probably like a dog or one on the way, right? And then the older lady was just like, the standards just change as far as like what you think you want versus what you know that you really need, as opposed to, because younger it's more physical. It's not necessarily whether or not you're honest or whether or not you're loyal or whether or not you believe in God or if you go to church. And you get older and it's like, can you make me laugh? Like, I don't care how big your feet are. Can I laugh? Can we talk? Like, can we actually carry on a conversation more than what I did today?
And sometimes you gotta just abandon your own
program.
idea of what you think your life will be.
Right.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think at this age I'm gonna be married, and at this age I'll have kids, and at this age I'll whatever. And sometimes that's just not what happens. You kinda have
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Naturally evolved.
Yeah.
Plus, you're in a good window right now. 40, that's a good window for me. Like, I think life happened in windows.
Then my thing too is I attract younger men between the ages of 30 and 34.
Yeah.
Like, everybody I meet fall right between 30 and 34.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, so I'm having to navigate
You like-
that too as well.
You're like,
Yeah.
look, we got this age. I was like, well, you don't look your age at all. So then
Palyce,
you
I'm
have
gonna come back
that.
to you one more time.
Then you stand up, and then you were like, "What you say, boo boo?" They all excited too. They like, "Hey."
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelAndJoy.com as we wrap up this Friday edition of Michael and Joy on Power 108.9. I guess our neighbors ain't working today. I had to check on them. They took the day off.
4-day weekend.
Hey, today is the 8th of June, 2018, and did you know that back on this day in 1991, there was a victory parade held in Washington, D.C. to honor all of our veterans of the Persian Gulf War back in 1991. It happened on this day up in Washington, D.C. So salute to all of our soldiers that served during that time. 1991, Operation Desert Storm, the Persian Gulf. I was fortunate enough to serve in our United States military from 1989 to 1992 as an infantry soldier, Desert Storm veteran as my tag states. And today was that day they had that parade. I don't know why I didn't get invited to that parade though. Like,
you know what? It was actually in the inbox, and I in that Boxby folder.
In 91?
No.
We didn't have an email.
I'm talking about your invitation.
Oh, to the parade?
Yeah.
You think I can go now still?
Your invitation. Yeah, go on up there.
Alright, bet. Look how Chanel looking like. What is they talking
Right,
about?
exactly. I just want to know, can Chanel plug the people that are going to be on the panel?
Yeah, she can. But I want to ask you though. You said you attract the younger men.
The younger
and
man. She was
40s.
real specific in that age group.
She did the research.
It's a pattern.
But what happened to you at the basketball game? Is it because of your age now? We didn't see you at the basketball game this year. At Bowles. Were you there?
What? Are you serious?
Where was I?
As much as I played.
I know why.
And they kept putting me in the game.
I know why.
The other girls were tall on the other team. They kept putting me
Why
in
did
there.
I not?
Because he was
there?
so busy taking photos with
I was in
Latavia.
there. You ain't seen me. What?
That's why.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
And he tried to call
You
you
saw me
out.
at the game. I saw you. I spoke to you.
Michael,
forget.
It's the Desert Storm.
That's what it is. Because I spoke to you at this game.
PTSD. It's not me.
he tried to call you out too. Shut down over there taking photos with Latavia.
She was in Destiny's Child.
I was like, that's why I wanted to plug. Can you plug just the people that are going to be speaking on your panel?
Absolutely.
I do remember seeing you.
Yes, you know. Just 2 or 3 weeks ago. Good gracious. 2 weeks ago. But yes, I have an amazing panel. So I have Latavia she's a founding member of Destiny's Child. I have Kiana Dancy. She's a co-host.
Kiana Dancy.
TV1 Sister Circle. I have Deb Anthony on Grown Up Hip Hop and formerly of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I have Anthony Dalton of The Pains, Tyler Perry's The Pains and Saint and Sinners. I have Cherie Turner. She's an actress and TV host of Say Something Cherie. I have Leticia and Rod Gardner. Leticia is a certified trainer, personal trainer, and Rod is a retired NFL player. He's a Clemson Hall of Famer, and I believe he played for the Redskins.
Oh,
yeah, and I have Anthony Morrow. He's an NBA veteran.
Oh, wow.
Well, congratulations.
You got a good panel.
Yeah, it's going down
Shout
Punch
out
Bowl
Sunday.
Social this Sunday. And once again, how can they get tickets?
They can get tickets at comministry.eventbrite.com.
Oh, yeah, it's coming back to me. Yeah, I did see you.
Yes, you did. As much as I played this time.
You had your hair different. That's what it was.
It won't done because I was playing.
On purpose.
Mike Bibby, once again, man, thank you for your continued support of Michael and Joy, man. We really, really appreciate that. People in Atlanta, you are here in the building, and you're going to be out this weekend in them streets, ain't you?
Yeah, thank you. So thank you for having me again. Yeah, we'll be at Sneaker Exit Sunday from 1 to, I think it's 1 to 7. I'll be there from 1 to 5. We gotta get up early and drive back to Baltimore, drive home. Hey, and if you want to get a shirt, and we're in the street, so just if you tag me on Instagram, we might pull up on you.
Man,
I was going to say, more importantly, the website is historianthreads.com. You can always order online, and we do ship out.
Right, we do. Yes, we do. Hey, Palyce, come up to the microphone. Palyce, you got a big day coming up. It's the international pageant that's going down in Texas and Operation Hope. Tell everybody how we can support Operation Hope.
So, any donations, whether that's the products or the money, you can go to my Gmail, which is teampalyce@gmail.com, and Mainly my mom is in charge of this.
Yes. Come on, Mom, with the finances.
And just remind your mom, don't do me like they did Gary Coleman now. I'm watching my money now.
Oh my
Right, she's
God.
like, who is Gary Coleman? What you talking about, Willis? But for those that want to continue to follow you and see you win this international pageant coming up in Dallas, how can they do that?
So I am on Instagram at I am Palyce Evelyn. That's I am PALYCE EVELYN.
Well, congratulations to you. Hey, why do financial experts recommend creating an emergency fund before paying off credit card debt? Well, you have some credit card debt and you've been doing hard work to get it paid off. Then along comes some financial experts who tell you, hey, hold on. Create an emergency fund first, but why wouldn't you pay off the debt as quickly as possible? Especially when the average credit card charges about 16.73% interest rate. Because life happens, says Ray Cruz. He is a certified financial planner, and he states that after relying on credit card debt and emergency circumstances, also it costs you the most to borrow from there, so it isn't a safe fallback. You can't extend your credit card if you like to and max out your cards. It's no good to do that. That's why beginning next week I'm still working on the 410-400 project. And what is that? That's because 10 out of every 4 Americans don't have $400 saved up in case of an emergency. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to work and find a solution on how we can do that and help people at least get $400 saved in case something go down. That flat
Michael,
tire.
I know how we can do it. I know how we can start at least. Let me hold $20.
Hey, I hope you guys having an amazing weekend. If you missed any of
I'm
today's
at 10.
show,
I just gotta ask for
man,
it.
I'm still waiting on that $2 you stole from me.
I did not
from the
steal $2.
conference.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Hey, if you missed any of today's show, all you got to do is visit the website, michaelandjoy.com, or just go to power108.9.com and you can check us out there. Mike, Palyce, the lady with 3 names.
Hey, we'll see you Sunday, Chanel. Come on, Chanel.
Michael and Joy in the morning at michaelandjoy.com. Wake up, let go.
Yay! Good show, good show. Hold up, Michael. Turn that music down. We ain't ready yet. Hold on.
You about to get banged.
Not again.
I didn't want to see Latavia. That's all.
I was gonna say, please, not again. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Watch over our family and friends. Oh, that's the wrong prayer. What? From the thank you, Mike. From the top of my head to the soles of my feet, I ask that God watch over you, keep you, protect you, expand your territory and your capacity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Bam. That was my prayer with Brenton.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Margot. Thanks, Calvin.
Hey man, get with us on that financial thing. You know, we paid off $147,000 in 42 months with the Dave Ramsey financial piece. So
Wow, that's
we all about that.
I'm talking that SunTrust.
Yeah.
To get
because
that partner up too, because they got
SunTrust.
their name on everything
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
So we
With
got
the fact that
SunTrust,
people don't
but I
have
gotta find out a way
$400 put to
I
the
gotta find a way
side
to
as
put
an
it
emergency
together.
fund is an issue.
We're gonna hopefully we can get